All right, I'm going to go over some really important steps that you'll need to complete during your BSW degree progress. So this is a quick explanation of how you make your way through the major as far as what you need, when you need to apply for practice sequence and field and that sort of thing. So first, you're going to start by taking your foundation sequence courses, which there's 5 of them that you need to take. And during the time that you're taking those foundation sequence courses, you're going to want to complete a resume review workshop and quiz and actually make a social work tailored resume. It's important that you go ahead and get one of those started because social work resumes do look a little bit different than some resume formats that you might already be familiar with, or maybe you have from your previous resume draft. So after you are completed with your foundation sequence, or when you are enrolled in your final courses to complete your foundation sequence, you will then apply to advance into the practice sequence coursework. And in the practice sequence, there's 5 classes that you take as well. You'll be taking those classes. Whenever you are getting ready to go into your last semester, if you're doing a traditional full-time field placement, then you will apply to field pre-screening. And this happens a semester prior to your last semester because you do field in your last semester. So the application for field pre-screening is pretty simple. It basically just lets the BSW advising team know that you are planning to go into field the next semester. And what we do is we look up your record, make sure everything on your record is complete except for your field classes. And if you meet that, then we will advance your application to the field office and you'll start your field process with them. So after you fill out your field pre-screening, the semester before you go into field, aka the semester before you graduate, you will then attend a field registration group advising for your BSW advising bar to be cleared. And this is your last official advising session that you have to have with a BSW advisor, and we'll go over your very last degree requirements that you need, what classes you need to register for field so that you can get the credits, and the graduation application process. So this is done in a group advising structure rather than your individual kind of advising for registration that you've been going through, because y'all are all doing the same thing at that point. And so we do it in one large meeting or maybe 2 meetings, but you should get an email with that information of when you should be attending your field registration group advising. After that, or during the same time of that semester, you also need to attend field orientation and onboarding with the field office. So this is completely separate than your registration advising. This process is going to tell you what is field going to look like. How do you complete your actual field application? How do you get matched with your field placement? And all the things that you need to go through with the actual field office. And again, they're separate from BSW advising. Okay, so the field office is separate from BSW advising. They handle all things field. So in order for you to even get this far, that's why you need to go through your pre-screening to make sure you meet all degree requirements to enter into field, and then your field registration. Okay, then moving along, you will, after that, it's going to come time to register for your last semester of registration. You will register for your field courses, and we'll talk extensively about this during your field group advising about what classes you're registering for, if you're doing field full-time or extended field, and what that looks like. But these are the 3 mandatory classes you have to complete all of your fields in order to graduate. And then during your last semester, while you're actively doing fields, you will actually apply to graduate during that last semester. Your application is what lets us know it's time for you to graduate. We then look to make sure your degree audit says 100%, you're meeting all requirements so that we can certify you for graduation and so that you can get your fancy diploma. Now, during that same last semester, you will also want to consider taking the Bsw Licensure Exam. During your very last semester, while you're enrolled, the licensure exam for Bsw is something you want to think about taking. There are some procedures on the Donito Center's website about how you register for the exam. They also have some study materials for you. Now, you will want to take the Bsw licensure exam unless if you're planning to go straight into an MSW or MSSW program, you'll want to wait because you'll most likely take a MSW exam at the end when you're done with your MSW program. So there's no need to get both a license as a Bsw social worker and an MSW social worker. You'll just get the license once at the very end. So that is a quick explanation of how you progress through the Bsw degree. Again, there are more in-depth videos explaining each of these kinds of things that you need to do throughout graduation, throughout your time in the program. But this is just a quick snapshot of how you would progress. There are more videos very specifically explaining foundation sequence into advancement of the practice sequence. So if you haven't made it that step yet, I highly encourage you to go ahead and watch that video so you know what to expect, because you can be thrown off. And if you get thrown off, that will delay your graduation. That's it. Thank you.